Oh boy! You know, this guy definitely attended and really loved those Diddy parties.
Hey, bestie. Bestie, we need to start a love train. I want everybody to put I love myself in the comments. Type in the comments, put I love myself.
As the freak-offs just got a bit more freakier, especially with the latest allegations and lawsuits right now that implicate one specific police officer that's tied into two other big major national security events that are tied into larger conspiracies. What in the world is going on here? As still, we wait very patiently for the Epstein client list to come out here, a sore topic for the Trump administration, as a lot of people are being very skeptical of this entire saga that a lot of people believe is tied into Diddy and a potential extortion racket run by, of course, the intel agencies, the deep state, the swamp, and some very nefarious players in our society that have compromise on all the politicians and celebrities that are some of the biggest names in our society. Is that exactly what's going on here? Well, let's explore that in this specific video, as right now, the Maui police chief is being named as a co-conspirator in the Diddy lawsuit, as the mayor just called for his leave, as this case will now be officially investigated. Yes, you heard that correctly, as we also found out that this was the police officer that was in charge during the Las Vegas worst mass event in U.S. history. He was also the chief during the Maui fires that took the lives of 102 people, as there are accusations of malpractice and his failed leadership during that incident as well. As it's pretty clear, the Las Vegas incident, major cover-up, and now you're telling me this guy allegedly was also working for Diddy, helping him cover up his larger attacks against the victims in this lawsuit? What's really going on here? Here's a news story about this topic that really concisely brings together all the pieces together.
And two unnamed people. Maui Police Chief John Pelletier is accused of being hired security for Sean Diddy Combs in 2018. It claims Pelletier, who was a Las Vegas police captain, posed as a sheriff deputy in California to respond.
Responding to a specific call about one of the alleged victims here, the person accusing him that she was assaulted in a very kind of graphic adult way. Allegedly, there was, again, family-friendly show here, but let's just say she was attacked by multiple people in a very unfavorable adult, grotesque fashion. This guy, allegedly, according to the allegations, came as a police officer from the local jurisdiction and took down a report. The story now gets even crazier, as the allegations now allege that he also kidnapped people, paid people off, and when we look at corrupted police officers, this is something that usually happens. You do see a lot of police officers usually work private security gigs, as they have a lot of connections, a lot of people that are, of course, able to get away with more things than the average security guard, since they're professionals in the law that they know how to skirt, with evidence they know how to fake, with victims they know how to lie and fool to, who of course don't know how the system exactly works like they do. When we look at the Epstein case, there was multiple police officers that were actively playing a role in the continued abuse of children, even when a court ruled that this guy was a serial predator and that he was also supposed to be a registered offender, which, again, he never followed the proper protocols of. This whole system entirely broken. But in the Epstein case, particularly here in South Florida, we saw multiple police officers, except for one. There was one police officer that actually whistleblowed, that actually spoke out against this, and was ostracized and viciously attacked for doing so. But there were other police officers that were going along and literally escorting Epstein out of jail when he was supposed to be in jail, taking him to his office, and then seeing small children coming in and out as Epstein was able to continue his abuse, all under the full protection of the police. The police also work with intel agencies, with higher, of course, three-letter agencies within the federal government, which a lot of people implicate in this entire saga. This story gets even more crazier.
Home, but offered no help or medical care. The woman claims Pelletier gave her an envelope to a neighbor which she believed to be full of cash. She claims Pelletier later took her and another plaintiff at gunpoint to his home, restrained them, and refused to let them call an attorney, and made various moves to cover up the kidnapping. The Maui Police Department said in a statement, Chief Pelletier has no connections to anyone in the lawsuit. The allegations are unfounded and false, and the plaintiffs are spreading misleading narratives. But Maui County Mayor Richard Bisson has requested that the Maui County Police Commission puts the chief on administrative leave during the investigation, saying, "This approach does not constitute a presumption of guilt, but ensures that the individual in question is not in a position that may compromise the integrity of the office while the matter is under review."
Big question here, as this guy's passed. We'll talk about in a little bit, as he actually put one of my friends in a headlock. Yes, you heard that correctly. Before getting into that and a lot more, we wanted to tell you about wearechange.shop, one of the best shops out there, as we have been working very hard to make sure that we have some of the best products on the market. We really do care about our own reputation. We ship you out, and we give you free stickers, by the way, too. Our own products here from our offices. We do this by hand here. We work very hard on making sure you guys get the best products. And one of the best products that I started to research took us a very long time, but I talked to a very top tier medical expert. And I remember sitting down with him and I was like, okay, let's get to the bottom of this. How can I help people the most? What's the best, most amazing thing out there that a lot of people should be taking that they're not taking? And he replied, creatine. I won't say who this is, but then I was like, okay, how do I source the best creatine? Where's the best? Because I know there's a lot of scams. There's a lot of people putting fillers in there. There's a lot of people making sure that you don't get the pure stuff. This is pure stuff. 2 months of it, 99.99% pure. You look at a lot of the other creatine stuff, they don't say their purity. You know why they don't say their purity? Because they fill it with crap. And their boxes might be bigger, and look, you might think you're getting a big deal, when in reality, you're being screwed. We made sure, and this is lab tested, some of the best stuff on the market from Germany, 99.99%, 60 servings, 2 months of servings of creatine. We called it common sense creatine because it's common sense that people should be taking it. But before taking anything into your body, do your own homework, do your own research. Elon Musk really likes it. Not this particular product, but creatine just in general. And there's so many different studies on creatine. Do your own independent health journey. Do your own independent research. Get into it. And then when you start looking into creatine, you're like, my goodness, why haven't I known about this earlier? Why haven't I taken it earlier? That's what I'm kicking myself. I wish I was in my, I wish a couple years ago I would have got onto creatine. It doesn't just help out your muscles, it helps out your mind. So a lot of people that are dealing with cognitive decline, especially older people, this stuff, super good. Every older person I know in my life, I'm like, are you taking creatine? You better be taking some creatine. Here's some creatine. You got no more excuses. A lot of people are like, what, $53? You got 2 months of supply there, okay? That's big. Specifically with the purity and the kind of quality of product that you're getting on wearechange.shop. So do your own homework, talk to whatever medical professional you want, but again, really start looking into this, because you'll be kicking yourself for not getting on to creatine. Now, let's continue on with this very bizarre, crazy, wild story, as Nick Sorter, one of my friends, has said that this guy was a goon who put him in the headlock. There's actually a video of this police officer who's connected to all of these larger events, tasseling with Nick Sorter when Nick Sorter was going after the Maui politicians that clearly failed in their response during the Maui fires that a lot of people believe also had been involved in a potential larger conspiracy. Other people online are saying that this is the same police chief that ordered victims to be trapped in the Lahaina fires. And now he's named in the Diddy case. And now, also, more specifically, he's being named in the Las Vegas mass-ish event that injured 800 people. As a lot of people are saying, hey, do you recognize this guy? Yes, he's at all the major events here that are plagued with conspiracies. Now he's being accused of working for Diddy. I would love to see some pay stubs, since also the lawsuit that he's involved in involves Odell Beckham Jr. and the comedian Drewski. Now, it's important to note here that during this lawsuit, all of the people involved here are denying all of the allegations here, as Pelletier, Beckham Jr., Drewski all have denied these allegations in this new lawsuit that is naming them as people that were involved in these Diddy freak-off parties, in these larger assaults and attacks on them. As we had Pellentier's representative come out, a spokesperson for him, saying, quote, "We are confident that the evidence will demonstrate these claims to be false and will expose those who are deliberately trying to manipulate the legal system to spreading misleading narratives." And that is the statement from Pellentier's spokesperson. As it's important to note here, there's always two sides of the story here. But looking at the Las Vegas story that this guy was in charge of looking into and responding to and investigating, it's pretty clear that we were lied to. That this story, whenever we started to unravel it, became very inconvenient to the establishment. And the story went away very quickly, even though at first the Democrats were cheerleading it as the perfect event to take away your ability to defend yourself. They're like, this is the perfect event. Look, 800 people were injured. Around 60 people lost their lives here. We recently marked the 5th anniversary of one of the deadliest mass attacks on American soil. And we still don't know what was going on here. What was the motive? As there's so many inconsistencies in this specific story. What in the world is going on here? And again, Gateway Pundit writes here, former Las Vegas officer who led Route 91 investigation and Maui police chief during the Lahaina fires is now named in all of this. As it's pretty clear here, we never got clear answers to what in the world was going on here. What was the motive that created this larger mass event in Las Vegas? Why don't we have any answers here about Paddock and his connections to alleged intel agencies, his very suspicious behavior? A lot of people are saying, how in the world was he able to pull this off, as there's so many inconsistencies to what really happened here? I went to Grok and I was like, hey, Grok, give me some of the inconsistencies to the official version of events of what happened here in Las Vegas. And the first thing, again, we don't know why this happened. Still no idea after investigations, as all the hallmarkers here are a part of a larger intel agency plot, according to a lot of conspiracy theorists that are extrapolating a lot of kind of weird circumstances and situations here. We have Paddock's brother also going down for adult content related to minors. Very strange incidences surrounding this entire case, as a lot of people also talked about the possibility of multiple assassins, as some eyewitnesses claimed that they have seen circumstantial evidence. And again, eyewitness evidence isn't always the best, by the way, because there usually is a larger kind of play on the mind here, where a lot of the people think they saw something, but they kind of hoodwink themselves into believing something. There's also a lot of inconsistencies with some of the photos that we have seen here, and I think Grok got that one correct. The timeline of the security guard, Jesus Campos, here also doesn't make sense with his encounters with Paddock. There was also a connection, allegedly, with terror organizations, Saudi Arabia, Saudi princes, but again, a lot of that wasn't clearly defined here. There was a hard drive of the assassin that was found and then just quickly disappeared. Yep, nothing to worry about here. Nothing unusual here. And to me, this still represents a larger kind of stain on a lot of the authorities that were involved here, as this police officer was involved here, as there's still a lot of very serious questions. Now, the fact that celebrities hire a lot of police officers to help them cover up a lot of their crimes, that's usually standard kind of practice in LA. You talk to a lot of people in LA and you learn just how predatory, how disgusting, how awful the whole entire industry is, and how bought off a lot of the police departments are that look the other way, especially when it comes to assaults and attacks. Man, it is disgusting. It is an entire rotten city filled with some absolutely bad juju. I know one person, and I don't want to name names. I don't want to implicate them, but I had personal interactions with them, and they told me just the lowdown of how things run in Hollywood, just how evil, just how much of a larger cover-up operation continues to happen there, specifically with a lot of the young women, sometimes now young boys now. Look at all the young Hollywood children that have been raised in this industry. A lot of them are having mental breakdowns, not because they're just mentally unwell, but because of the larger abuse that they have gone through throughout the years. All those Disney stars, boy, oh boy. Really weird kind of stick stuff here. And a lot of the celebrities usually get abused in order to get into those positions of power. And then when they get into those positions of power, they usually become abusers themselves. That's how the cycle works. And that's how the cycle usually routinely works. And when we look at the Harvey Weinsteins, when we look at the Woody Allens, when we look at the Epsteins, there's still so many questions here that are left unanswered. Now, is this police officer guilty? Is he not guilty? Are the allegations true? We're going to find out in the court proceedings that kind of move forward here. Hopefully there's going to be some kind of discovery. There's going to be some kind of evidence provided that back up a lot of these allegations, because right now all we have is allegations. And it's kind of weird that this guy, a police officer, because let's just play the conspiracy game here. Let's go off and talk about the hypothetical conspiracy unfolding here. Intel agencies are running a blackmail extortion operation on all of the people in Hollywood in order to make them, of course, their bees, in order to make them their slaves. Family-friendly show here. I'm being very careful with the words that I use here because I have other words that I want to use here, but family-friendly. As best as you can. I mean, it's difficult on the subject. Anyway, these are the harsh realities that children who want to be in Hollywood, who want to be celebrities, need to hear, by the way, because that's how the predatory system kind of preys on them, takes them in, and does really awful, horrible stuff to them. When we look at this entire saga and how it unfolds, you're the intel agencies, black ops, private contractors working on getting all these extortion tapes, having all these celebrities under your control. You have them jumping for you, singing for you, telling them what to do. Oh, we have a procedure that we want you to take. Yeah, you're going to make them do it, especially when you have compromise on them. Oh, we have Kamala Harris that you need to campaign for. She's our person. Go camp. You better go do it right now. Right now, chop, chop. Or we're going to release the tapes there, Usher. Let's go. We seen you with the baby oil. We know what you did. There's going to be actual victims here. Okay, let's bring in some police officers. Oh, this police officer works with us and these three-letter kind of agencies, these black ops, these private contractors. You're going to be our man. You're the kind of police chief here. You have all the connections. You help us cover this up here, and you're going to be our guy. You're going to be our asset here, and you're going to help facilitate and grease the wheels, and you're going to make sure that none of this comes out to the general public. That's how, if I was running this top-down operation, that's exactly how I would do it, and I would involve people that are always there as willing kind of participant and actors that I know that I have under complete control. That's just my theory. Is it true? Let me know down in the comment section below. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. Get some creatine. Get your mind right. Get your body right. Start to work out and start to take care of yourself. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. Click subscribe to the notification button. We got more videos coming your way here on youtube.com/wearechange.